Hello, everybody, and today I would like to welcome and introduce you to Mr. Steve Culpitt. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, Sharon. Thanks for having me along.
No problems at all. Now, to let our listeners know a little bit about you, firstly, Steve has over 30 years' experience in the financial services industry, and he is the director of Arrow Focus on Wealth. Now, Steve is truly dedicated to providing each business and individual with a customised and appropriate solution for them. So it's very, very individualised. And he has large to small clients, both nationally and internationally, and he can develop those customised solutions for each of them. So Steve has a vast knowledge in the field of financial advice and service, and he has received recognition within the industry by being awarded a place in the top 10 advisors for AXA. He's also had many more awards and has been recognised a whole heap of times by being selected to travel to Paris, New York and Vienna for relative industry study tours. So, wow, he's a big name in the industry. Steve's focus is on assisting his clients to protect their lifestyles and to grow wealth. He does this by identifying your ever-changing financial goals and objectives, because we all know that they change, those goals and objectives change quite regularly, and then he presents to his clients a tailored and a strategic solution. So as you're getting the picture, it's very, very individualised, and he works very closely with his clients. So thanks for joining us, Steve.
Thank you. You made it sound like somebody else then. I really want to meet this guy.
Yeah, you're a wonderful guy. And to all of our listeners, Steve does help me out with all of my financial planning and protection, so I can highly recommend him. So what I'd like to do today is start off, Steve, by just getting you to tell us about how your working life began and the story leading up to where you are today.
Okay, I guess when you've been in the industry for 30 years, it's not a short story. But basically, I left school at 16, and back in those days, your parents always said get a good, secure job. So I joined Bank of New South Wales back then in Melbourne. I worked with Bank of New South Wales for quite a while. I guess when I was about 21, I felt like I was getting stale, and there was a lot of people that were in a similar sort of level to me. So I marched down to personnel and said, I want to go bush. And because I felt that if you went bush, you could get ahead of everybody else, spend 18 months there and come back and jump ahead of the queue. They transferred me to a little town just outside Ballarat and told me that I'd be second in charge. I then found out that there was two on the staff, so that really impressed me. but I actually loved it so much, and I loved the small town, and you got to know everyone. And I spent about 4 years there, so I didn't get ahead of everybody else, but I got some satisfaction out of that role. I then transferred to Geelong, and I worked with the bank in a number of different roles in Geelong. And then in 1988, two things happened. One is that Bank of New South Wales, who was by then Westpac, formed an insurance arm. They started off Westpac Life, and they approached me to move across into the to the Westpac Life area on secondment. The second thing that happened in 1988 is I travelled to Brisbane for World Expo, because I just felt that was a sort of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I loved it so much that I set myself a 3-year goal to move to Brisbane or the Gold Coast. As it turned out, that the secondment within Westpac Life stayed and grew, because I loved the sales area. And my sales manager actually transferred to the Gold Coast in his sort of pre-retirement role. I phoned him and asked him, was there any opportunities for me on the Gold Coast? He said yes, and I moved up onto the Gold Coast in the Westpac Life sales environment. And I guess from there, we just had the opportunity to move out of the banking umbrella and start our own business. That was myself and my wife Janet. So in I think it was about 1999, Westpac. We left Westpac and started our own insurance brokerage, who was Arrow Insurance. We called it back then, and it's just grown and evolved into Arrow Focus on Wealth, where we are now.
Oh, wonderful! And so, what's your role in Arrow now, Steve?
Okay, I'm the what's called an authorised representative within Arrow. So basically, I'm responsible for all sales and service. So what I basically do is I sit down with new and prospective clients, discuss what their needs are, and provide solutions for those needs. We also provide regular ongoing reviews, depending on the client. That could be every 6 months or every 12 months. So we work really hard with building a relationship with our clients.
Yeah, that's great. And so, as you said, this business has grown dramatically since you first started out. What would you say was crucial to your success during this journey?
I think what's crucial is the ability to evolve. In order to grow a business, you have to be able to evolve, and especially in the financial services industry, because our wonderful leaders keep changing the rules, and you just need to continually upskill and educate yourself. And another thing that's important ongoing is to build quality and ongoing relationship with referral partners.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people underestimate that importance of that relationship building as you go along as well.
That's right.
So Steve, outside of work, we've talked a little bit about Arrow now. So outside of work, what gives you the most pleasure now?
Now this is in no particular. Yes, it is in a particular order. I'll be honest here. My passion outside of work, I love golf. Golf is a challenge, because one day I'll go out and play around and I think, I've got this mastered. The next week I'll go out and play like a dog. So golf is a challenge for me. I love reading. I just love to sit down and get immersed in a book, because it sort of moves me into another world, and I can just focus on that. And I love family time. Just love spending time with my wife, children, and grandchildren.
Yeah, and you are a new grandfather of late, so congratulations with that as well.
Thank you.
So what do you enjoy most about your career? What's the most satisfying part about your career today?
Okay, apart from, you've got to be honest, the financial aspect of it is important, but apart from the financial aspect, I really get satisfaction from providing solutions for clients and helping them achieve their goals. So I hope that doesn't sound corny, but that really satisfies me.
Yeah, and their, your support to them gives you the satisfaction back.
Correct.
Yeah. Your business has grown greatly. So how do you keep focused on a daily basis to grow your business, Steve?
That can be difficult at times, because you do need to focus on growing your business. Otherwise, it can get away from you. I believe two keys are working with referral sources and your existing clients. It won't just happen. You need to spend time on relationships. Referral sources love feedback. If they take the time and effort to give you a referral, they believe that referral is gold, and that client is going to definitely do business with you. It doesn't always work out that way, but it's important that you provide feedback on what happens in that referral. The second thing is that if you satisfy your clients, your clients are more likely to tell their friends about you, and then you can obtain business or extra business from clients, friends, and family.
Yeah, and I think that, and I know for a fact that you have some really long-term clients and you really look after them over many, many years, and you're not having to always go out and have a look at for new business because you are, looking after those clients you already have. Yeah,
it can sometimes be a trap. Because you can have a client for a long time, and every now and then a client will ring and say, "Oh, hi Steve, it's Tom here," and you've really got to think, Tom, which Tom's this? But you can ask a couple of questions, and then it comes back to you.
Yeah, for sure, and that does happen to all of us, doesn't it? So just another question is that people, and I know that you do say that people tend to spend a lot of more planning on their holidays than they do in their life, but why is it important for people to have these plans both financially and personally in their life?
Yeah. What you're saying is right, and a saying another saying that I really love is that people don't plan to fail; they fail to plan. I think it's important to set goals or targets in life, and we really need to work towards those goals, both personally and financially. And I think it's important to continually to reset the goals. Because let's just say that some people say, it's not important to set goals. It will just happen. And it's like someone that's going to go for a Sunday drive and they just hop in their car and go for a drive, but they don't know where they're going. And if you don't know where you're going, you're never ever going to get there. So it's important. I strongly believe that it's important in business and personal to set goals so that you know where you're going, and when you get there, you've achieved something.
Yeah, and you help them do that financially as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what would be the 3 tips you can give business owners or people to look for when they're choosing a great financial planner?
I guess it's not a heck of a lot of difference to other service providers. I think one of the most important tips is if you're working with a financial planner, it's going to be a long-term relationship. So it's important to work with someone you like. If you don't work with someone you like, the relationship is just going to go nowhere. I also believe it's important to work with someone who will listen to you. I know myself. I just hate to sit down with someone and they talk about themselves. Another saying that I really love is that you've got 2 ears and you've got 1 mouth. You just use them proportionately. Just make sure you listen to what people need. And I think the third point with a planner, it's important to work with someone who's independent. What I mean by that is there are some planners, for example, and I can go back to my own history, is that I was a planner with Westpac. Now, my role with Westpac was purely to sell Westpac products, and that was how we got remunerated. And Westpac kept on telling me that their products were the best out there. And it's not until you can sort of get outside of their umbrella that you realise that there is a lot more going on out there. And a financial planner should not be a product flogger. It should be someone that's selling advice and service and strategies.
Yeah, very good point, yeah. So what would be the one thing then that every business owner should have in place right now? Okay,
now, I believe, apart from the obvious, apart from setting your short and medium-term sales and marketing goals, and I know most businesses don't do this, but they should have a succession plan in place. Now, what I mean by a succession plan is it's sort of twofold. One is that, at some stage with a business, you're going to want to exit that business. A succession plan will sort of stipulate how you will exit that business. if you're a sole trader, do you just tend to sell it, or do you want to pass it on to family? If you've got a partner, do you want your partner to buy the business out? And if so, can your partner afford it, or do they want to do that? The other side of a succession plan is what happens if we don't get to retirement? What happens if we die prematurely or we're disabled? If we're a sole person in the practice, what would happen to our family? How would they survive? Because we're the key person in this business. If we've got a partner, does the partner just carry you? The succession plan is something that incorporates all those things and just puts rules and situations in place so that that's covered.
Yeah, great point there, Steve. Thank you very much. So, and as all the good business people, they have mentors around them. So who are your mentors and why are they mentors to you?
Yeah, I don't have solid mentors as such. Maybe I do, but I sort of call them. I do have a business coach within our licensee network. He'll phone me every second Tuesday. He will discuss my activities for the last couple of weeks, and he will give me sales and different strategies and ways to help me grow my business. Within the financial services industry, we also regularly have what we call success days. They used to be called product development days or whatever, but I love going to success days and talking to other advisors and other planners that are successful and just pick up tips from them to see what works for them.
Yeah, and I think the definition of mentors is different for everybody.
Yeah,
they don't have to be famous. They don't have to be in the local newspapers, magazines, and news for sure. So what motivates you then, Steve?
Yeah, this is I guess I don't want to look back and say to myself I could have done more. I guess. And it's probably simple, but I'm motivated purely to be the best that I can.
Yeah, and that's a good way to be. So what do you hope to inspire in others that are maybe listening in today?
Yeah, once again, without trying to sound corny or anything like that, I want to try and inspire faith and confidence. So basically, if you put it back to with my clients, I just want my clients to have the confidence that I will deliver the results and help them achieve what is needed for them to meet their goals.
Yeah, wonderful. And when you're working in a team environment like that, to have, that partnership with someone in your field makes it a lot easier for your clients to achieve them as well. Yeah, so what's your vision for the future then, Steve? What's going to happen for you? Okay,
I'd like to break this down probably into three different areas. And I guess from the work, in the perfect environment for Arrow, I'd ideally like to achieve, say 300 quality financial planning clients who I could work with on a regular basis and help them achieve their goals. Now, by helping my clients achieve their goals, it's also going to help me achieve their goals, to achieve my goals, sorry. So we can work with each other to achieve each other's goals. Secondly, with golf, I'd really love to get my handicap below 10. I used to say that, once I got my handicap to 18, I'd be happy with that. So I got below 18 now and I'm not satisfied. So I'm going to stretch my goal and try and get below 10. Second goal then is to get John out on the golf course a lot more often too. That would be a goal of or a vision for the future.
Yes. And for all our listeners out there, John is my partner and Steve has been hassling him to get out onto the golf course for some time now. Yeah. Well, they're good goals to have, Steve. Yeah. Wonderful. So how do you want to be remembered?
Once again, without sounding corny, I just want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as a good a good father and a good partner, and as someone who got the most out of their ability. I guess to use an analogy, I don't want to leave anything in the bag. So basically, I just want to use all my skills and all my tools, and then to look back and say, yep, I've done the best that I can.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And what I wanted to highlight to our listeners out there too is you notice that when Steve's speaking about his goals and what he wants to be remembered by, it's all about himself. He's not competing against anyone else. Maybe he's golf handicapped, but it's about being the best person you can be rather than being the best somebody else can be. So that's really great. So in finishing up, Steve, I just wanted to recap some important points that I think you brought up today, just for our listeners. And the one thing that came out, when you're talking about planning, is that there has to be regular reviews every 6 months, every 12 months, because things are ever changing. And I think that some people put plans in place financially and then don't review them as often as they should. You mentioned the ability to evolve and upskill and educate yourself, and that was really important in your success journey because things are ever changing, as I said, and also that relationship building. And I know from personal experience that Arrow and you and Janet do this very, very well and have some really great partnerships from other suppliers, referral partners, and also your clients. And when we talk about those referrals coming back to you, you give great feedback to the person who's referred them to you. So you keep them in the loop and say thank you very much, and you're quite grateful for that. But the one point I think today is about the succession planning, and a lot of people don't put a lot of thought into the the continuance of their business if they are incapacitated or do die early, or even selling out at a later date. So for people who haven't got a succession plan in place, please find a great financial planner and get that succession plan in place. So great points today, Steve. I've really enjoyed spending some time with you. So thanks again for giving our listeners your time today.
Thanks for having me on your show.
No worries at all. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Sharon.